Hi friend, I am so glad you're here today. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so glad you're here because I was just about to make a huge pot of chili and I'm gonna need someone to polish this off with. So, would you be up for cooking with me today? Amazing. So, one of my favorite things about cooking with other people is sharing stories. So, if you're up for it, grab a seat, grab a cup of tea, and let's chat. So the thing about this chili is that it's completely plant-based, and all of the protein and flavor comes from plants. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna walk you through kind of the starting process of it, and then I'd love to share with you one of my favorite memories about warm stews like this and why this particular chili brings so many amazing recipes to me. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is chop up some onions. So if you have goggles, put them on now so that you don't start crying from the onion juice. All right, so I've got my onions here. I've got two beautiful onions, fresh from the garden. This is from a family garden. Not mine, I did not grow them, but one of my family members did. And I am so grateful for these beautiful little onions. So the little onions are from the family and the big onion is from the store because, like I said, I am making this massive, massive pot of chili and yeah, whenever you're making things like soup or stew or chili, it always reminds me of like big gatherings with lots of people. I'm also gonna turn on this pot so that it can start warming up. Almost forgot that. So yeah, so chili just reminds me of like big gatherings of people, whether it's family or friends or, you know, like fun fall festivals and those kinds of things. There's just something about it. Well, I'll give you my theory. So chili in and of itself is like a super comforting dish, right? It's thick and it's rich and it fills your belly, but it not only fills your belly because it's warm and it usually has like spicy peppers in it and that kind of stuff. It literally warms your body from the inside out. So, you know, while I'm making this in September, chili is something that can be eaten throughout the whole winter because of its nourishing and warm properties, right? So think about like the coldest winter day and you just curl up with a big, huge bowl of warm soup or chili, and it just makes you feel better, you know? And another cool thing is that this chili, because it is so vegetable heavy, it's loaded with foods that help to balance your immune system. So it actually helps to boost your immune system, not just balance. So things like onion and garlic are all anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and so these foods give your immune system that little extra boost that we all need as the weather gets cold. We all move inside and we all start getting little sniffles. Especially if you have the little ones. The little ones get so many sniffles this time of year. And if they're, you know, open to it, have them try this chili because, man, it is gonna support their little bodies. And if you're like, this chili in particular is not spicy at all. I do that on purpose so that the littles can eat it, but then you can also top it with fresh jalapenos or stir in your own like spicy mixtures, the onions are just now hitting me, and I usually don't happen, like this usually doesn't happen to me, but like my eyes are already starting to get a little like watery. Okay, so while my pan is heating, I'm gonna tell you about these amazing ingredients that we have here. So I gotta move these onions though. Whew. Okay, so the foundation of this dish comes from the liquids. We'll start with the liquids. So obviously we've got onions and garlic that we'll get sauteing a little bit, but we've got a can of fire roasted tomatoes. This is gonna add so much flavor without any spice. One of the things that I see the most in vegetarian chilies is that they end up being more like a vegetable soup with a little bit of cumin in them. Not a lot of flavor. So this has a can of fire roasted tomatoes and then a 30-ounce can of just regular diced tomatoes. From there, we're also going to be adding in some vegetable broth. And that's kind of all of our liquids. And of course, as you're cooking, if you need a little more, you can add a little more. No big deal there. I'm also adding lots of kidney beans because I love them. Feel free to change them out for black beans or pinto beans or whatever you have on hand. Just add a whole bunch of them. Another little secret is pumpkin puree. So you'll see this is like the red and orange chili, but we've got pumpkin puree, which adds another extra level of texture and creaminess, but it also adds tons of nutrients without like extra vegetables that you can see, right? It just kind of blends into this luxurious sauce. And last but certainly not least are the red lentils. And the red lentils are what makes the difference between a vegetarian soup and a vegetarian chili. These red lentils will they will soak up all the broth and it'll turn into this super creamy and hearty chili that I thought was so hard to replicate without meat, and now I figured it out. So, oh my gosh, finally, the spices. So we've got a little bit of inspiration from mole. We've got some cocoa powder in here. So obviously mole uses like the best chocolate in the world. So this is kind of a little workaround with that. But we've got cocoa powder, cinnamon, and you can use either allspice or cloves. I've got a little bit of chili powder and some cumin as well. And so all of that is gonna go in after we're done toasting our onions and garlic. So I just chopped up the garlic, and as I was doing, I got the onions simmering away here, and as I was doing that, it made me think about one of the things that makes cooking your own food at home so much more powerful or potent than eating out at a restaurant. Now, don't get me wrong, I love eating out at restaurants. I think they're a wonderful, beautiful place for community. I mean, if you go to the right place, you can get the same feeling of love from the food, but there is something about cooking at home and really putting love into your food. And so I wanted to share a little bit about what that means to me, because cooking with love is so important, and essentially it is an intention that you hold while you're cooking. And so, like, for example, while I was chopping up the garlic, I was thinking about, like, you know, the process that the farmer has to go through to grow the garlic and to get it into, whether it's a store or a farmer's market or anything like that, and just all these layers that food has to go through in order to get to your kitchen, and just sending gratitude to that process, because it wasn't that long ago where everyone kind of had to have a small plot of land to grow food on in order to eat. And while some of us still live that way, many of us don't. And we associate food with the grocery store or the farmer's market, not the ground that it is raised from and the work and the effort that goes into that. So holding space for some of that gratitude is so important. So now that I've put in the garlic, it just takes a minute, and I've got it in some a mixture of olive and avocado oils, because olive oil has a really low smoke point, which means it goes bad quickly at high heat. And so I added avocado oil, which has a higher smoke point, so it kind of raises that threshold. I'm gonna now add in the spices to toast them a little bit and bring out all of their delicious flavor. Lots of spices. Season your food, people, please. It makes food so much more fun and inviting. And it makes you excited to eat. We should all be excited to eat because food is life, you know? Look at that. That's the color because of the cocoa powder. I love it. So really next step, I'm going to give that a couple minutes. And the next step is to just literally dump all these other ingredients in the pot and let it simmer for about 30 minutes. Then you take it off the heat. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm a day ahead, well, of course, I'll share a bowl with you first. But then the rest of it I am saving for a harvest festival tomorrow, and it's a pretty common knowledge that chili tastes better the second day. So I'm cooking it today to share with you the first batch, and then I'm gonna save it and bring the rest to the harvest festival tomorrow. So I'm so grateful that you stopped by, and I appreciate you sharing this bowl with me. So let's go find a comfy chair in the living room, and I'll see you there.